Lenkijos prezidentas Aleksandras Kvašnevskis. Lietuvos prezidentas Valdas Adamkus. Diskusiją, kurią pavadinome Profesija, prezidentas, be abejo prisimindami garsųjį Antonionių filmą Profesija reporteris, moderuos profesorius Egidijus Aleksandravičius.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Allow us to use the lingua franca of the contemporary Western world and world. Okay. And I'll try to comment a bit in the very beginning. Suppose a lot of us understand that this event is unique in the history of the book fairs in Vilnius, to have two presidents, two authors which are presented here, and it is very, very accidental. Some occasion that everybody here also knows that a couple of days ago, during Lithuanian National Day, February 16, acting President Komorovsky and Lithuanian President Grybauskaitė just met here in Vilnius. And this is an accident that we are here at this moment, because February 16 and the tradition of Vilnius book fairs just came together. And please understand that coincidence. Another thing is that here in the book festival, we are non-protocol event, or we will try to have a friendly talk, not only official debate of the two presidents, two friends and two authors of one book. Even if they became the most popular authors in contemporary Lithuania. I suppose that you already heard that more than 40,000 of copies of Diary of President Adamkus was published, and I suppose that already bought. I mean that President Adamkus became the most popular writer in Lithuania at this moment. And it allows us to be not too serious, please. And what else could I say in the beginning? That I need to stop myself and save our time. I prepared and informed presidents about the script I just put on paper, preparing myself for that discussion. And the first question was dedicated to President Kwaśniewski. What was your first feeling, first reaction when you learned that your friend, President Adamkus, is preparing to publish his diaries, and even asks you to put the preface to that publication?
First of all, thank you for this opportunity to meet you and to participate in this, what you correctly said, book festival, which President Adamkus, if he is today the most popular author or writer in Lithuania. Well, author, it means that me, with my preface, I am the most popular co-author or preface author in Lithuania, what is nice. You asked me about my first impression, and the first impression, honestly speaking, was that I was and I am jealous. Because really that is something extremely unique. That's very active politician, the head of state, the president, is so disciplined that is ready to write every evening the diaries. That is something today, especially when the pace of our life is so fast, is absolutely unique. So my first reaction was, oh my God, he has done it, and me not. That is something. And then, of course, politically speaking, this is not very serious what I will say now. If Lithuania and Lithuanian president prepare such diaries and Polish president not, that's his advantage for Lithuania, because now the history will be written according Valdas diaries. But the first job, that's true. And second, respect. Really, I have a highest respect because to be so well self-disciplined man with such self-control, to prepare the notes during a long time, that is something what I mentioned, unique and respectful, and I think is very important for all of us in this region of the world. Because we need evidence. We need evidence of our political life, evidence of our decision, the reasons of the decision, and first of all, the evidence of everything what dramatically changed in this part of the world. And Valdas and myself, Lithuania and Poland, in this time of the history, we were in fact in the center of everything what happened in the world. Now we can say the history is much more concentrated in different places of the world, much more in Asia, much more in the Middle East. But this period, I mean, end of 90s, beginning of 21st century, the concentration of major events or processes were in Central Europe. And that is why the diaries of Valdas are so important. And really, this is the evidence of facts, of processes, of our thinking, of everything what happened. So my last point in this part of discussion, Valdas, congratulations.
Mr. President, allow me to risk be late and now ask, why did you ask President Kwaśniewski to write this profession?
First of all, thank you very much, Alexander, to be with us here. I believe that indicates, even it has some connection with what you just asked me, the period of time when I personally felt that probably this is the, like you said, important period of time, and I felt that I found a man who understands, who really feels, the need for cooperation but not confrontation, which unfortunately, sometimes always was, neglect or not interested in each other. And here we found a common ground for that period of time. And first of all, I would say that I found a very objective, a man with a very open mind, the broad understanding of the issues we are facing as two countries, as nations, having the same ideals at that time, but participate in the international community as such. I have to tell in front of all of you, I am grateful for your support when we were seeking entering into the European Union and NATO. I believe you were the first, one of the first ones who said, look, we are strategic partners. And that probably was the first time I heard about a term which united us as two countries for the same goal. And your influence and your active participation and connections with the European leaders definitely was very helpful. So I felt that knowing all this, having this connection with you, introduction to the diary, and I want to make sure, this is not the memoirs, because the memoirs actually sometimes reflect the personal and not always very maybe objective, factual situation. So the diary definitely was a document for the future, and you were the partner, and actually in many cases the great advisor what to do and what not to say and how to approach the problems. So this is why you are actually in that book, very complimentary. Thank you very much. I felt very humble. Reading all that's what you have said about us. But one thing, I want to respond to what you say. Look at this book when you said that I am the first one. This is not a competition. This is an incentive for you to just get up and write the poems.
It's a golf, not tennis. Yes? If I understand well, it means also some sort of proof that the concept of strategical partnership first was mentioned by the Polish side, not by the Lithuanian side.
Yes, you are right.
Because in our skeptical view of papers, mostly we say that it was Lithuanian attitude, saying that we are strategical, but not from the other side. Anyway, I imagine that even if Polish-Lithuanian relationship became more complicated, you two are strategical partners to them.
No doubt. No, I tell you, this is that who was first or who first said about strategic partnership. That is a good job for historians. That's your job much more as ours. But it's very easy to explain why, from Polish point of view, Lithuania was this strategic partner. Because for us, we were first on the way into NATO. And you remember our partners on this way were the Czech Republic, Slovak Republic, and Hungary. And then Slovak Republic, because of major policy, was postponed. And then my idea from the very beginning was that because Baltic state, they want to be part of NATO, it's necessary to do everything for that, what was extremely complicated because of position of our eastern neighbors, Russia. And I tell you, this situation, how to really change everything what is heritage of Second World War, of Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact, of Yalta treaties, etc., it was extremely connected with your, Lithuanian membership in these two organizations, NATO and European Union. And for me, that's such very personal remembrance. I remember this day in Prague, the NATO summit. We worked together, Poland as a member of NATO those time, and then finally, after long discussion, not easy discussion, these three countries, the president of three countries were invited to the room for this announcement that, and declaration that Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia are members of NATO. And I remember this atmosphere, I remember tears of the eyes of my friends, and I had these tears in my eyes as well, because for me, really, it was this day in Prague, it was the real end of the Second World War. And that's why this situation created this strategic partnership, and why for me, and not only for me as a Polish president, but for many politicians in Poland, it was absolutely obvious, and it was a precondition of next steps, that you are strategic partners, and you will be in the same organization as Poland is participating.
We will return to the topic of partnership. But now, as far as I understand, and Ms. Varnavichina already declared that the most important case for us to discuss here, it's the case of profession or not is to be president. And what is that feeling? Maybe because president office in Lithuania and in Poland is so high rank, it's so symbolically important, and for young generations to dream about sometimes being presidents, it's very, very important thing. What do you think? Is it a profession or not? In context of German last election, when a priest was elected to the...
He's not elected, but will be elected.
Will be elected, okay. What do you think about that?
Oh, frankly speaking, in Poland, the priest will be not elected as a president, I hope, because the situation is different. But is the presidency profession? My answer is yes, to some extent, of course, yes. But that is a special mixture, because to be good president or to be president, that is, in my opinion, combination at least of three elements. First of all, much more as a profession, it is a mission. Because if you understand that that is a special mission, and you want not only to be president, what is nice, but you want to do something for your nation, for your people, for your country, for your region, etc., it starts to be much more as a profession, as a mission, and that is something what is, in my opinion, more important than this very professional approach to this job. The second element of this special animal, what presidency is vision, because I think very poor is politics or presidency without vision. So you have to know what you want to reach. You should propose this vision for your people, for your voters, and you should fulfill this vision because that has sense. We were very lucky people, lucky politicians with Valdas, because we had such great vision. Because NATO, it means security for our countries, and European Union, it means civilization progress for our countries. They were two great visions in front of us. And third element, important as well, is some kind of professionalism. Because frankly speaking, if you want to be a good president, to some extent, that's his job like others. You have to wake up morning, you have to go to the office, you have to sign documents, you have to read some analysis, you have to organize teamwork, you have to participate in many events, and that is something what is, well, I can say such everyday job. But that is not the most important, and because, that's a little joke what I can say now, because this profession, the presidency as a profession is not so important, it means that our pensions as former presidents are so bad. Because nobody pays for vision, nobody pays for mission, only they pay for job.
Nobody even asks for vision.
They pay for job, for profession, and these salaries or these pensions are not so good. That's my opinion, and my answer to this title of our debate is a presidency a profession or not. Yes, to some extent not, but is a profession if is effective and good if it's combined with two elements. I mean, mission, vision, and then profession.
Maybe I'm not so good to compare Polish and Lithuanian attitudes or popular views, but in some respects I understand the Lithuanians better. And imagine that there is so typical understanding that presidentship is the moral authority. Something between moral authority and the guide or guard of constitution or something like that. What do you think? Is it possible to be professional moral authority?
If you're asking me, I would say no. And let's put it this way. I will start answering the question differently. I am meeting with the high school students, a lot of them, and it's always unavoidable. I mean, young individual stands up and says, could you tell me how to become the president? So it seems like understanding of becoming the president, you choosing the profession. And I agree with conceptually with you, Alexander, about, but I personally feel this is definitely not a profession. This is the commitment, this is accepting responsibility, this is a deep belief, what you just said, about the idea, seeking and have the vision. And actually, definitely, it has to be based on a moral. If you don't have that moral responsibility, and if you cannot actually share this and make a decision based on your belief, conviction, and the ideal which you have, definitely I don't believe that you should not even think about this, and the people should reject you. And actually, I don't see any school, just like you cannot learn the democracy from the textbooks. You have to feel it, you have to develop yourself within the environment of surroundings, be responsive, and gain the respect, at the same time the confidence and trust that you can actually represent and reflect your feelings, your ideas, and represent at the same time the people. The present world requests from you a lot, because you cannot isolate yourself. You have to cooperate with the rest of the world global community. And for example, in President Kwaśniewski's case, I believe his uniqueness is that his contacts and openness, with the world communities, with the world leaders, that's what makes him as a real leader known throughout the global community and be very effective. So I don't look at the presidency as some kind of a very narrow profession. You have to have something which is acceptable. You have to base your views and ideas on moral ideas and at the same time deliver. If you cannot deliver, you are a failure and people should reject you.
Anyway, I suppose that everybody here will understand that both presidents came to the offices having huge experiences of the administration work, or the skills of management. But what you say just put some emphasis, or explains the priority. Even if you are good in management, it doesn't mean everything. That management or those skills of management here, they are not crucially important.
Well, absolutely right. I think we have the same problem not only with politicians, same problem we have with managers. The best managers, they are not very good in administration. They should add something, some ideas, some values, some special talent, skills for teamwork, for example. But what is, I think we are close with Valdas. Of course, if you want to be president and you are fighting for presidency because you need to have good job, that's not enough, no doubt. It's not enough. And then what is good for that to reach this presidential level is extremely difficult everywhere. In Lithuania, in Poland, that is maybe some who will say that's not very difficult job. It's a difficult job, but even if it's not so difficult job, to reach this position is extremely difficult. And that is something what maybe is good because it's not so easy to be president. But the problem is much more wide, because I see the problem today with politics. Because in politics we have today, in this time, such feeling that to be good in public relations and to be enough pragmatic, that is good conditions to be good politician. It's absolutely not true. If you want to be a good politician, not at the presidential level, because that is for very few, but you are a parliamentarian, you are a mayor of the city, you are a member of the city hall, something like that. The pragmatism is important, because you have a lot of very practical questions which is necessary to solve. That is, if you want to be good politicians, you have to have some additional elements, some ideas, some fight for some values, visions. I'm speaking very often that this time when we are living now, that is not the time of the politicians of vision. Now we have the politicians of television. That is a difference, and that is wrong. That is a mistake. We need more president with vision. We need more politicians with vision, and of course we need television, but maybe not so much.